My name is Wallace Gilbert Jr. I'm the assistant pastor here at Church of the Messiah. I'm also the director of operations for the Boulevard Harambee Empowerment Center. I'm the project /network manager for the Equitable Internet Initiative. Church of Messiah itself, like I said, it's a 145-year-old church. 60% of the congregation is black male under the age of 30. We have all types of programs here. Church of Messiah is represented or known as a business incubator. We are the community church. If you ask anybody in the community what church they go to, they'll probably say Church of Messiah. We provide the internet. We have 214 units of affordable housing. We plan to start building again in the very near future. 1,300 square foot bike shop, computer lab, solar power charging station, community garden, village clinic, Nikki's Ginger Tea, Kill the Hate clothing line, Bright Candle Company, Bowtie Company, New Work Leather, do leather crafting. We are a community church. We believe in boots on the ground ministry. We believe in dealing and doing for the least of these. The Equitable Internet Initiative, which this solar charger station is a part of that project. It came out of the project. It's part of our resiliency plan. What we try to do is we try to think of everything that could affect the community and try to provide as many services as we can to the entire community. Should there be some sort of natural or national disaster or something of that nature, we want people to be able to come and charge their phones, their laptops. We want people to be able to connect to the internet. No other time in this COVID experience has really exposed this initiative on how important it is. We know that over 40% of Detroiters don't have access to the internet for whatever reason, whether they can pay for it or whether they don't have the actual high-speed connections in their area. So the Equitable Internet Initiative, one, it allows us to help people see, we do away with the digital divide. I remember when I was a young technician, you remember the computer was, the technology was considered a tool back in the day. You know, if you had I remember my first cell phone, the big one with the bag, you know, because I worked for the phone company. You couldn't tell me nothing. Thought I was a stuff. But back then, the computer was considered a tool. Now, the computer and the internet, this is the system or the mechanism by which you supply the tools. Everybody, it's become bigger than just a tool. If we all take a look in the mirror, we all do our little share, this world would be a much better place, literally. As far as the structure, you have a project manager, the hat I'm wearing. You have a network manager. A network manager is basically the person that's always monitoring the network. So we got a young man named John. He can see every connection on our network through his machine. So if somebody goes down, he knows. He can make a phone call, ask them did they unplug it or whatever happened. We don't see your connection anymore. We have digital stewards. John is a digital steward, now network manager. The digital stewards are young people that we train. They went through 16 weeks of training for no pay. Once they went through the training, we hired them, and like I said, they make from $15 to $20 an hour, maximum 20 hours a week most times. People often ask me, well, how far, can your wireless network go? Technically, there are no limits. The thing that puts limitations on our group, amongst these three groups, is funding. Yes, it's all money, because the higher end equipment, like the connection that we get from Southfield all the way to the roof of the church here, almost down the belt, that's a powerful radio. That's an expensive piece of equipment. So there really are no limitations. We can throw across the river because there's equipment out there. It's just our limitations. We're bound by the money. That's what's hindering us. This is one of our soon-to-be 3 solar-powered community charging stations. It's designed to allow you to charge small devices, laptops, cell phones in case of a power outage. There's also a hotspot connected, so should you get into this area, you can actually connect to the internet for free. We try to strategically place them, so we have a second one on Mack and the Boulevard at Genesis Lutheran Church, and we're going to be installing a third one at the Bent Rim Bike Shop on Kirchhoff Field. Eventually, we want to take them as far east as the city of Grosse Pointe Park. So, like I said, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Could you break down for us, Pastor Wallace, a little bit like the step-by-step to acquiring the panel, how you paid for it and that type of thing? Okay,
so technically, we didn't technically pay for it because we are part of a larger initiative. The DCTP Allied Media Groups, along with ourselves, designed the solar power charging station.
Okay.
They contracted a company called Strenergy to actually install the panels.
Okay.
The reason why we use the 4 panels and not more is because we want them to kind of blend into the neighborhood.
This panel, to be clear, is off-grid, right? It's not on.
No, it's completely off-grid. This is a community network. The community built it, the community maintains it, the community owns it. We have 214 units of affordable housing. Those little white, round, and square plastic dish you see, that's how we provide the wireless high-speed internet to the individual resident. Our housing corporation is, as we speak, strategically planning on how we would do like a solar farm. How could we have close to 50 vacant lots left? So we're looking at engineers possibly putting a solar farm in a couple different locations and feeding our property. All the property you see across the street is Church of the Messiah. The majority of the property going to my south and north, it belongs to Church of the Messiah. As we assist people with anything, from being burned out of their homes, from being evicted, returning citizens, people who've experienced gun violence in their home. Everybody in this area, out of you, knows the Church of the Messiah is the community church. We feed people every Sunday after service. When service was going on, every Sunday, anybody who went downstairs, when I say feed, I mean feed, not cookies and milk. We do over 400 dinners on Thanksgiving. We used to do it downstairs. This year it'll be different. We'll actually be dropping off the dinners. When we say community church, we know all the community partners. We know the players. We know the business people. We know the other nonprofit organizations. We have relationships with the churches, and we don't necessarily get hung up on denomination. That's not our issue. We're not worried about a person's individual belief. This is so important, especially now when we look at what's taking place around the planet. You talk about getting rid of there's so much use of fossil fuel. I think about the advent of COVID. Now they have already proved that even people who recover are never really the same. So that's going to cause all types of breathing problems in and of itself. Then you have the fact that we are continuing to use these fossil fuels and polluting the air. We see what's happening, the fires in the summer, floods in places that they never had floods, record temperatures, high or low. We know that this planet is out of whack. So we have to get a control of this, and we have to get control of it sooner rather than later. Well, once again, because the sun is free, the cost of the panels is coming down. We started to get more local manufacturers. For a while, there was really not a lot of solar panels being manufactured here in this country. Understandable. I mean, when we look at the way our system is just whack. Everything's about money. Everything's about material gain. We don't concern ourselves about human life. We concern ourselves about the bottom line.
Yeah.
So when you look at the fact that people are trying to bring solar to make themselves more independent, like you said, people who want to get off the grid, we don't even have to question why the government doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
We just know that more and more people are becoming more and more aware of solar. First thing I want to say is, don't ever give up. You know, like to tell people trying to quit smoking, don't stop trying to quit. You know, keep quitting. Just don't quit. Keep just don't get discouraged. Keep building. Keep working at it. And things will get better eventually. The light bulb is going on for more and more people each and every day. Anybody out there that's doing any type of nonprofit work, solar, internet, anything that's trying to close that gap between the digital divide, close that gap between the haves and the have-nots. I just want to say to you, what God guides, He also provides. So just keep working, and God is a way maker where there seems to be no way. I'm telling you, if the mission is right, the odds don't matter. God bless you. Thank you all.